In this video, tayo ay mag-evaluate ng circular functions or trigonometric functions of any angle t. I am advising you to go back to the book and read again yung topic ng wrapping function. Take a look at this table. So sa table na to, meron tayong dalawang rows. Nasa first row, naroon yung ating mga special angles. Actually, kulang yan eh. Hindi ko na ilagay yung pi and 3 pi over 2. Nasa second row naman, yung result ng ating wrapping function. The elements that we see in the second row, these are the coordinates of points. Yun yung point of intersection between the terminal side of an angle in standard position at yung ating unit circle also in standard position. So for example, meron tayong angle in standard position at nirotate natin yung kanyang terminal side by t radians. There is a corresponding point of intersection between the terminal side of our angle and the unit circle. That point of intersection P ay merong x and y coordinates. Our wrapping function W matches t to a point with x and y coordinates at yung x coordinate na yun yung cosine of t at yung y naman, yan yung kanyang sine of t. Suppose now we have another angle. Let's say for example, an angle with a radian measure of t prime. For t prime, there is a corresponding point of intersection between the terminal side and our unit circle. At merong coordinates yung point na yon, x prime, y prime. Okay, ano yung x prime na yon? Yun yung ating cosine of t prime. At yung y prime, yan yung ating sine of t prime. How about the other circular functions? How about tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant? So ganito ang gagawin natin. Halimbawa, tangent of t. Ano ang tangent of t? So again, titingnan natin yung point of intersection. xy. So tangent of t is going to be y over x. Ano naman ang secant of t? Ang secant of t is the reciprocal of cosine. So it's going to be secant of t is 1 over x. Magsagot tayo ng ilang problems dito sa exercise 3.10. Let us evaluate sine of pi over 4. Okay, so titingnan natin yung point of intersection. So it's going to be the y coordinate. Sine of pi over 4 is equal to square root of 2 over 2. How about cosine of 2 pi over 3? So ang terminal side ng ating angle is in the second quadrant, which means the cosine function is negative. Ang ating reference angle is pi over 3. Cosine of 2 pi over 3 is equal to negative cosine of pi over 3. Okay, kung pi over 3, ano ang kanyang x-coordinate? It's 1/2. So it's going to be negative 1/2. Let us evaluate cosine of 5 pi over 6. Kung 5 pi over 6 yan, nasa second quadrant ang terminal side ng ating angle. At the second quadrant, ang ating cosine function ay negative at ang ating reference angle is pi over 6. Cosine of 5 pi over 6 is equal to negative cosine of pi over 6. Pag pi over 6, ang cosine ay square root of 3 over 2. So it's going to be negative square root of 3 over 2. 11 pi over 4 is equivalent to 2 pi and 3 pi over 4. That's 2 pi and then another 3 pi over 4. So tayo uli ay nasa second quadrant. Ang reference angle natin is pi over 4. At ang ating sine function ay positive sa second quadrant. Sine of 11 pi over 4 is the same as sine of pi over 4. Okay, kung pi over 4, okay, it's equal to square root of 2 over 2. How about cosine of negative 7 pi over 3? Negative 7 pi over 3 is the same as negative 2 pi and pi over 3. Our reference angle is pi over 3. Ang quadrant natin is at the fourth quadrant. Positive ang cosine function dito. Okay, so this one is equal to cosine of pi over 3. Okay, let's look at the table. O pag pi over 3, ang x-coordinate ng ating point is 1/2. So cosine of pi over 3 is equal to 1/2.